Hello, and finally I'm back with you doing one of my rambling divinely channeled messages. I am Luna Winter Tarot. I am a psychic medium and I am a divine channeler, and you may have just caught sight of my orange dog who's now behind me. That is GM. Now, today's energy. I feel I've been feeling quite pent up this morning. There's like this big release that needs to happen. Now, if you follow me on Instagram at Luna Winter Tarot, blue tick verified account, you'll know that I did a quick message this morning about how I rearranged all my tarot cards yesterday. And every single justice card in every single deck was in reverse. And I just thought to myself, well, yeah, that's evil eye. There's somebody or a group of people around you in your energetic sphere. It's about to pee it down just as I'm saying this. So if you hear the rain, I feel that's very, very synchronistic. It's like a washing away of this evil eye. It's clearing this darkness away from you, because any evil eye that's been projected upon you, any injustice that you have been served unfairly and very unjustly, I hasten to add, is being cleared, because the divine, quite frankly, has had enough of this specific person or this group of people. And as soon as I said that, the rain stopped. How bizarre is that? It's somebody was very, very underhand, and they wanted to get one over on you. They wanted to come out of a specific situation as the victor, but they also wanted to keep their own reputation fully intact, because this person is, or I should say was, very egotistical, and it's all about them and their self-image and them projecting outwardly this persona of being a really nice person. But they're anything but. That's the truth. This person isn't nice. They're somebody who gets by in life by walking over other people. Their success is earned off the backs of other people, and that's no way to go through life. But the thing is, when this person met you, the script got flipped, because you are their divine counterpart and they were meant to learn from you. You were the example that was set on how life should be lived, on how people should be treated. And you treated this person in an exceptionally unconditional manner. You were very vulnerable with them. You were very open. And you laid yourself bare. That's the level of vulnerability you gave. And I feel you shared parts of yourself and your story with this person that you likely haven't shared with other people. And this lulled you into a very false sense of security, because you thought, this person's got me, they've got my back. But all the while, they were planning your downfall from a place of jealousy, envy, because they just couldn't bear the fact that you had your shit together. They couldn't bear the fact that people admired and adored you because you are you. People naturally gravitate towards you and your energy because you are such a soulfully, genuinely energetic, loving person. So naturally, people are drawn to you. You are that person who just selflessly helps others. The last pound in your bank account, you'd give it to someone, even if it meant you going without, because that's the way you are. You have been on a life journey where you recognise other people's needs, because you've been in those positions yourself where you needed help and assistance, and perhaps you weren't on the receiving end of it. So it's made you realise how valuable it is to just be fucking kind and a decent human being. Now, this person, your counterpart, they alluded to having all these characteristics and qualities, but in essence, they had none. It was just an act. And I've talked a lot today about performative acts and art, because this is all it was. It was performance. It was learned behaviours on their part. They watched you and they mimicked you. So people then began to think, oh, this person's a really nice person. And they had a real glow up in your presence. You elevated their status and they really began to enjoy this. Their ego and their pride got more and more inflated, because whilst they were basking in your energetic light glow, people thought they were on the same level as you. But then people began to get confused. They began to believe it was the counterpart who made you look good and not the other way around. People forgot that you are the original. And I don't know why I'm saying the original. It's like, I'm thinking about that vampire program now. I don't know where that's coming in. It's like an original family. You have really, really old bear with me. Just going to do a little woosah and start again. You have really old generational ancestry. You are an original. But with this person, you're going to have to bear with me because I'm going to need to cough because my throat chakra is closing. So sorry about that. See, this person, they just don't like it when I start revealing their truth. It's like energetically they know what's coming and they're like, you shall not speak. I'm like, yeah, I will, actually. Get behind me, Satan. I'll say what the fuck I like. So yeah, they were like a magician, a warlock. They were illusory and they took your energy. They manipulated it, and I'm waving my left hand in the air as I'm saying this in like a sort of magician kind of way with a magic ball. And they used this to hypnotize others. And what they did, they were very clever with their words. And there are a few situations that went on around you both where your person set you up for a fall, because they know that you're defensive and that you fiercely protect people that you love, and you speak truthfully and honestly, and you call out bullshit at source. So these situations, which I hasten to add, your person manipulated into being, they watched you stand up for this inauthentic and false cause, allowing you to believe it was real. This is a level they stooped to. They needed to feel better than you. So you spoke out. You stood up for people. You spoke with honesty and truth, tenacity, faith, and your true warrior spirit surfaced. All the while you didn't know you were fighting a battle where there wasn't one. And your person stood back and watched you fall on your sword. Without conscience, without guilt, because this was all part of their aim. They needed to feel better than you. They wanted to steal that adoration that you were given naturally by other people. And in the end, when your person discarded you and you were forced to walk away, I feel you left the place where you were. You needed to put distance because you were feeling under this lens of judgment and injustice. And you were, because people had turned this evil eye upon you, because this person's words, this person's actions, they were so manipulative and sly. So all the people around were bought in. They were bought into this person's tale of woe and about what a terrible person you are. And it was all you, it wasn't them. As I said on Instagram, the big boy took my ball and ran away. No, you didn't. You took this vessel of mistruth, mishonesty, and injustice. That's the word I'm going to use. I don't even think it's a word. And you created a whole new life for yourself out of that. And in doing so, in walking away silently and just getting on with your life after pointing out all these injustices, you only needed to do it once. You turned the tide, because unbeknownst to you, people have been watching you. They've been watching your progression from afar, and suddenly your person's story doesn't ring quite true, because people are going, well, hang on a minute, look at the state of them right now. Not you, them. Because your person has gone back into the form they were in when you originally met them. I feel they were a bit bedraggled. They were a little down at heel, you know. they didn't have much going on. They didn't have much to say. And when they were with you, you elevated them. Sorry, I've just got to stop GM eating something off the ground there. You elevated them. They looked better, they smelt better, everything about them was better. You know, the clothes they started to wear, they started to make an effort around you. Leave that. Sorry, everybody. Funny that I've just said that at that moment. I think that's what your guides were saying to you. They were going, put it down, leave it. But you were in the mindset of, no. I've taken this on. It was like a cause, a charity cause. You knew in your soul that you weren't aligned to each other correctly at this point, but your soul was still driven by its higher purpose and its divine contract to carry on regardless. And rather than putting it down and dropping it like the dirty little piece of fox shit that my dog just tried to pick up, you carried on. You kept seeing the best in your divine counterpart whilst they were continuously trying to bring out the worst in you. Do you see how it was yin and yang? You were feeding them light while they were feeding you their darkness. But for everything a reason, one of my favourite expressions, because then the divine brought about this major collapse where you were forced to go onto one timeline and your divine counterpart was forced onto another. And we all know that your timeline was the timeline of elevation. Your person's timeline was the timeline of descent. Do you see how my words keep getting muddled? Do you see how the energies are still being manipulated because they just don't want me to tell you about this? If you could step into your counterpart's life timeline right now and see their life, you would be shocked, because it's not what they're trying to project out there to other people. And I see someone right now, as it starts to rain again, they're sad, they're crying, they're remorseful, and they're trying to wash their sins away. They feel, you know how I'm seeing money laundering here. I feel like money was a real factor here as well. Somebody offered them money to do you over. And I don't mean do you over in that way. Somebody behind the scenes was like, look, I'll give you this money. You come over here and we'll have a happy ever after. And your person was so lured by money and greed that they just bought into this. So yeah, there was a group of people as well, 100%, that were a driving force behind this downfall of you as well. But they didn't know who they were messing with. And they monumentally underestimated you. They underestimated your quiet power. Because I don't feel that you allow your power to surface unless it's absolutely necessary. You know, you are a tenacious force to be reckoned with, but only when you're backed into a corner and have no choice but to fight. And in the last moments of this dysfunctional union, as it became, you did have to fight. And that's where your divine counterpart put you. It's where they wanted you, backed into a corner, snarling like a caged animal, because they needed people to see that you're a really bad person, but you're not. And people now realise that none of this was you. And this has probably taken 12, 18 months, 2 years maximum to come to light. But as your person, their life descends and you continue to elevate and ascend and your true self shines out there. And I do see some of you are in the public arena, be that a social media influencer or someone like myself. People are watching, they're looking at your life and they're seeing that it was never you. They see your truth, they see your light, they see your divinity. And then they look back at your person who's dishevelled, they're depressed, they're crying, they're drinking, and I actually feel they're really mulling over their life choices right now. And I don't want to say that they're in that desperate state where they're making a potential decision. I think you'll all know what I mean by that, because that's fairly weighted. And people are seeing how hopeless your person is without you, and how absolutely 100% it was you who gave them their energy, their life, their light. You were their energetic force because you are their counterpart. And without you, quite frankly, right now, they are nothing. That train, that feels to me like you're steaming ahead, full speed ahead. You're not looking back, but your person is. They're looking back at all their mistakes. They're looking back at what they should have won, and they're seeing what they shouldn't have done. And the weight and guilt is bearing down on them so heavily right now, because yesterday I turned every single one of those reverse justice cards the right way up, and there must have been at least 15 justice cards in reverse in every single one of my tarot decks. So that's a lot of justice that's about to be meted out and served, and I feel your person knows this is coming. They felt the energetic shift yesterday, but it's that age-old saying, isn't it? You reap what you sow, and that's the energy right now. They very much are reaping the consequences of what they've sown. And I've spoken about this before as well, about how they need to atone, how they need to make amends, and how 100% they need to come forward and make a humble and honest apology for what they did. And they're going to. But this summer, from now until at least September, maybe going into October, is going to be a very, very difficult time for your person. They've ridden on the coattails of victim mentality and everybody coming around them and going, oh, it's all right, let us take care of you, let us help you. But the sympathy's dried up. With each revelation these people around them have had about you and who you authentically are, the sympathy, the help, it's all dried up. And people are now looking at your person in a completely different light, because they see the dishonesty, they see the manipulation, and they see the abject laziness. Actually, I don't know why laziness is coming into this, but I do feel your person is someone who would sit back and just let you do everything. You know, they were very good at claiming credit for your hard work. And I feel this is something that really annoyed you at the time. You'd be like, well, hold on a minute. Didn't you say it was me that did that? And they'd just brush it under the carpet, because they knew full well they were claiming your credit. Now, credit where credit's due. And that credit is coming back to you. And you know, it's like something you've been owed for such a long time. And it's accrued so much interest. And when that credit hits your energetic bank account, you are going to experience such richness. Because, as I said, this is long overdue. And this karmic debt, this karmic credit that's due, it doesn't just relate to this situation. It relates to many throughout your life. You've accrued so much credit, and it's about to be paid. It's just been sat there waiting for this moment, because everything right now is aligned. I feel in the next 7 to 10 days, things are going to really ramp up for you, just like that train that went rushing past. There's going to be a message coming in, something that's going to change your life, and it's a really, really positive message. And it's going to be something that changes your life on a level that your counterpart is going to be kicking themselves for eternity, because they're going to hear about this, and they're going to know that if they had just been prepared to level up when they should have done, they would have been on this gravy train with you. But they chose to jump off. They chose to be manipulative, deceptive. They chose to be a liar, a deceiver. So that train has bypassed their station. And I don't feel they're ever going to get a chance to jump on it at any time in the future, because this success, this justice, it's all yours. So move forward decisively and with pride in yourself. And don't look back, because you have earned this.